Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here for my March Works in Progress check-in. I got several things done already this month. They weren't exactly the things I planned on initially, but I did do the one thing that I told you last month that I would do, so I feel really good about that. So let's go ahead and get started, and I'm going to show you what I worked on, what I'm working on right now, and a couple things I'm thinking about, and also a few fun finds that I found this month. Okay, so first, as I mentioned in the little introduction, last month I told you that I would for sure get the border put on this stitchery with our Bountiful Blooms fabric, and I am so excited. It actually just got done a couple days ago. I was cleaning up again after a bunch of sewing, and I had left this out so I wouldn't forget, and thankfully I did because I saw it and I right away added the border. So I'm really excited to get this quilted and bound, and it's just going to be a fun little wall hanging, and I just can't believe how well the new fabric looks with this fabric that has got to be about 15 years old. So not a perfect match, but close enough. So that was kind of my first little mini finish. Something else that I did is after I finished sewing all of my quilts with a new collection, I love to just make a table runner, just something just for the house. And this is a pattern that I've used over and over. It's actually been really hard for me to find it online lately to link to, but I will, if I can find a link, I will, and if not, I'll just give you the name of the pattern. It's the Mini Brick Road pattern by Atkinson Designs. And I've used this a lot. It's just a great charm pack, scrappy pattern, and I always add a border to make it a little bigger if I'm putting it on a bigger table, and so I did that. I added, I think, a 3-inch cut border. So, and the backing, I used the chunky gray plaid from our Bountiful Blooms collection. I just really have been having a lot of fun with these plaids. So this was just a fun little thing that I just made up in a day and got ready to go. I actually have another project that I want to start working on, and it is actually a project from one of my books, and it uses a jelly roll and 2 charm packs, and so I've got them ready to go, and I've just got them on this little stand in my sewing room so that whenever I get a free minute, I'm going to cut the jelly roll strips and then kind of use it as a leaders and enders project, since the sewing is really simple. So I'll get all the jelly roll strips cut, and then I'll start working on this pretty soon. Sometime at the end, well, it's pretty late in the month now, but I'll probably try to get this completely done during the month of April. Okay, another thing I made, this was totally not on my list, but I love my daughter's Regal Pines pattern, and it just has these really cute trees with 5 branches that are just adorable, and these little stars with a chain block. And the way she designed the pattern, she used all different fabrics from each colorway to do the trees. So we have the gray and green and the blue, and I don't know, does this one show up here? Yeah, so it was just really fun to make. And this pattern is so much fun too, because it takes a jelly roll and a charm pack, and that solves lots of the cutting for you. What I did is I actually didn't make the full-size quilt. I did a wall hanging version that I will be able to use in our, I just kind of picture this as a fall wall hanging for a little spot that I have, and had custom quilting on it by my friend Val. She did some really fun things in the trees, and just love these swirls. And then I'm just going to pull this up a bit and show you. Chelsea has a cute little saying in this pattern as well, and you don't have to add it if you don't want to, but I did. I like doing stitching and handwork, and it just says, "Shine brightly and look for the stars," and I just think that ties in so well with these fun little star blocks. And I do also have, I used 3 strands of Aurifloss. I'll give you the Aurifloss color right now. I used 3 strands of Aurifloss 2888 for the stitching, and that was just a perfect color to use that went really well with the green fabric. So yeah, this was not really on my radar to make, but I'm really glad to have it have it done. Next up, and I know I've been talking about these a lot, but my socialites blocks. Now there are still, when this airs, let's see, we had block 21 last week when this airs, and 22 will be tomorrow on Friday. And then there will be 2 more blocks. So let me get my blocks out. I've got all my blocks done. So these are the 22 blocks. Well, actually, I can only show you 21. Okay, so these are the 21 I can show you. And I've got them all done. The other 3 are in my box. But what Fat Quarter Shop did, and this I know I can show you, is they have a setting that they've already released, and I'm going to use their setting. And that setting involves making quarter square triangles and half square triangles. And then there are also some background fabrics when you set it together. So the other day I got all of I'm going to have 2 different color of half square triangles. I'm going to use this red print, and then I'm going to use this gray print. And these are ready for me I think they're ready for me just to press. So these are for half square triangles, and they have 2 colors that you'll see in their setting layout if you go to the page. So I'm going to use red and gray for those. And then these are going to be made into quarter square triangles, and I'm going to do a dark green and a light green. And these will all be, they kind of look like Ohio stars as a secondary pattern. So anyway, I've got these ready to make into 5 quarter square triangles, I think, with the dark green, and maybe 2 or 3 with the light green. So anyway, I've got all this ready to go because I just have all these other things that I want to start, and I just want to get this all finished up and off to the quilter so I can start working on those other things. But really, really close on this one, and I've already photographed all my blocks so that I have them for those blog posts, and then I should be able to share my finished quilt on the day that we share the finishing instructions. So I'm feeling really good about that. And then I also just wanted to share a couple of fun finds. I traveled recently to a quilt guild in Southern California, and it's usually kind of pricey for me to do that because I have 20 students, and I walk around and I look at all their stuff and I see all these things I want to go home and buy. Well, this time I actually had a Fat Quarter Shop gift card that I needed to use. So one of the things that one of the students had was this cute little Quilty Notes notebook, and I love how it's spiral bound and it just has cute lined paper in here. So I used part of my gift certificate for this. I just thought it was super fun to have an extra little notebook. You can always use an extra notebook in the sewing room. And then the other thing I spent my gift card on was I got these 2 new books that I had been seeing, and the first one is Summer Memories by Susan Aki, and she was a guest on our podcast. She's a really, really creative and talented designer, and this book actually has quilts, but it also has cross stitch, and really, really just, you won't be sad if you get this book. I'm trying to see how many quilts there are as compared to, okay, so the quilts are, 6 quilts and then 11 little cross stitch things, and you can just kind of see some of the quilts here. They hung them all out, and then a lot of the cross stitch are finished into little like pillows. It's just a really, really fun book. I haven't decided what I'm going to make yet, but I know I'll be making something. I love Susan's designs. And this other book is by Joanna Figueroa. It's called Fruit Salad, and what a fun idea for a book. I actually a long time ago sewed one of Joanna's cherry quilts. Made the samples for her. I also did a pear quilt for her. I'm trying to think if there was any other fruit. I think just the cherries and the pear. But here she's combined 7 different fruit patterns all in one book. So you've got, the pears and the cherries and the apples and the blueberries. And she has, let's see, did I miss any? Oh, there's pineapple blocks. They're super cute. Lemon, apples, and orange blossoms. So just an really, really fun bunch of quilt projects. She also has in the back of the book some fun recipes, and she also has some table runners and some table toppers where you just use a few blocks. that have been taken from the quilts, and you can make smaller projects. So I think this will be really fun for summer sewing. And also I was thinking some of them, just the individual block patterns would make really cute pot holder patterns. Just make a block, make it into a pot holder. And so yeah, I'm really excited that I did use my gift certificate on these, and I'm looking forward to working on some of these projects. Okay, so that's it for my March Works in Progress check-in. I will have everything linked that I talked about in the description below, and I can't wait to get a bunch of these things done and be able to show you more fun projects in April. If you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and hit the like button. Thanks so much for stopping by.